What's up, guys? It is your girl Sarah from Sarah Styles here. Happy Monday. I am so sorry to have canceled last week. I hate doing that, but I had my booster shot and got a big fever and just was not feeling it. So thank you guys so much for your patience and canceling last week, but I am here this week and we are going to be doing a live Q&A, Poshmark and eBay. I don't know. Do you guys sell? I only sell on Poshmark and eBay. If we sell on other places, are you okay if people ask questions for other platforms as well?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It's fine by me.
Done a couple on a couple other platforms.
Okay, what platforms do you sell on, just so people know?
I am mainly eBay, probably 90% eBay and the rest 10% Poshmark.
I'm eBay, Poshmark, a little bit on Mercari, the Real, ThredUp.
Okay, so if you guys have questions, mainly Poshmark and eBay, but you have other questions, we can try and answer those as well. So like I said, I'm sorry that I wasn't here last week. Next week I will also not be here because it is
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving week and my husband's off for the week. My kids are off for the week. So I'm attempting to take it off as much as, a reseller who wants to keep their business going can. So I'm not doing this live, but I will be here the following week, the last week of November, with a live. I have a Q&A. I might be doing a live haul with some people who came out to Denver to thrift. We haven't organized our life together yet, so I don't know, but I will be here in 2 weeks. So that is that announcement. I am doing a giveaway of a dashboard. So if you guys watch my channel, you know that I have digital products, 3 dashboards for resellers to know their numbers, know their stats. Most of my videos have some sort of dashboard, some numbers that I use in it. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway for a dashboard. I'm going to ask you guys tell me your best sale of the week. And then the 3 of us at the end will decide who we think had the best sale, and that will be the winner. So if you guys are joining live in the chat, let us know what your best sale of the week was. We'll share it on the chat and then make sure to pick someone at the end. Let's jump in and check with the chat. Veronica is here. Hello. Duncan, I saw a seller state he tried eBay per click on 900 listings, what a shock he got when he had 0 sales and a huge fee from the campaign. That is one of the questions. So I asked on my Instagram earlier today a question. So one of the questions was on this. So I think we'll get a little bit more in detail on what Duncan's talking about and then kind of what our thoughts on that as well. Let's see, Ginger Marvin. If you guys don't follow Kathy and Chris, head on over to follow Ginger Marvin. On that note, too, Kay is 50 subs away from being monetized on YouTube.
I saw how close you were.
Yeah, so she has the hours. So definitely make sure to head on over. Her link is in the description. Head on over and give her a sub. Give her some love over there as well. Philly Flipper is saying, look at Kay on the big screen. And then this is you. I'm like, and great, you're here. All right. So as people are kind of hopping on, I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit. We know what platforms you sell on, but tell us a little bit about you. If you specialize in anything or part-time, full-time, anything you think is helpful for the audience to know. And then everyone in the chat too, let us know who's here, who's joining, and what your best sale was this week to win a dashboard.
All right, Heidi, you want to go first or me?
Oh, I'm already staring at you, so go ahead.
All right, so I'm Kay. I am a part-time reseller, mostly on eBay and Poshmark. I do dabble in a few other platforms, like I said earlier. I'm a mom, so I also work a full-time job, so I'm a little bit busy. Don't really specialize in anything. I will sell whatever I can to make a profit, and that's about it.
How long have you been a reseller, Kay?
Since 2018, like June of 2018.
And you do like hard goods and like you don't only do clothing and stuff. You'll do
correct.
Anything.
Yep,
okay.
Anything.
Hi, I'm Heidi. Restyle Secrets, on the social things. I've been reselling 4 years. I started that about 6 months after I retired from my most of my career. I was a public servant, worked for local government. I was a city clerk for 20 years, and when I retired, I was a deputy city manager. So I just took some time off after that retirement, and then discovered by watching YouTube that reselling used clothing was an actual thing. And so that's mostly what I do. And it's very part-time. I do it to stay busy and interested and have a reason to get up and make a little extra money. So that's me.
Now, had you thrifted before, or was it just all completely new? I'm always fascinated with that.
I grew up going to and participating in yard sales. That was a common thing in the community where I grew up, that you sold your extra stuff at a yard sale or garage sale. And we would wander around on a Saturday. We called it going sailing. And went to thrift stores just like on a whim, or if you needed something specific and wanted to save a little money, redo some furniture or something like that. So I was not a stranger to Goodwill or thrifting.
Yeah. I grew up thrifting as well too. And so I think that makes a difference if you are just jumping into it and you've never been there before. There's a bigger learning curve because you're having to. Although for myself, I don't really care the brands, right? Like when I'm shopping for myself, I have to remind myself to not look at the labels because I
Oh, I
don't
know.
care. I'm like, I don't care. I just want
Either.
it to be cute. Like it doesn't matter if this is going to sell for $60. Like I just want it to be cute. All right, let's jump into the chat. We have a couple of people telling us, just a quick reminder, I'm doing a dashboard giveaway, so let us know your best sale for this week. We have Tata Jones is saying my best sale was a North Face men's parka jacket. Ooh, I bet that sold well. I'm in the market for one, and I don't want to pay eBay prices. So I'm waiting to find one at a thrift store, which is probably not going to happen.
You're not even willing to pay a discount on a used market, are you?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's significantly cheaper than a new one, but even that, I'm like, no, I want to pay, thrift store prices. So I will keep.
That's so funny.
I know. Ginger Kathy's saying I'll do a story post for a channel once my story is back up. Oh,
Thanks, Kathy.
Did she lose her stories? I hope
Start
not.
my story back up.
Yeah, that's scary. Philly Flipper is saying we can't start the show until Kay welcomes us to her little corner of the internet.
But this is Sarah's corner of the internet.
Oh, you're here now. It's all of us today. We're all answering the questions. All right, so let's get into it. I actually have a question because I don't want to say a problem, but I have a query on Poshmark and eBay right now that I want to get your guys' opinion. And people in the chat, let me know what you would do too. So I sold a Free People sweater this morning on eBay. I sold it for $42, I think, but a best offer. So do you want to guess if they've paid yet or not?
Probably
No.
not.
No. So if you guys are new, eBay best offer, they have 4 days to pay before I can cancel it. Well, guess what sold? I got an offer on Poshmark this afternoon for.
The same Free People sweater.
Right. It's like $1 more. So I'm not too worried about the price. It's something I've done in the past. If it's not been paid for like 2 days, I'll accept it and then wait the 2 days and see if eBay pays and then just ship out. Because on Poshmark, you can ship like a day or two and it's not a huge deal.
It's like you could run a hedge fund.
I know. Right. Right. So I haven't I have an offer sitting on Poshmark and I don't know. What would you guys do? Would you just deny it on Poshmark and wait for them to pay on eBay? Or do you guys have any suggestions what you would do?
I can only tell you what I would do, not what I would do if I were you.
Oh, yeah.
And I would just wait for the eBay buyer to pay and not accept the Poshmark offer.
Yeah.
I would probably wait a little bit on the Posh offer until it gets closer to when it expires. And if then the eBay buyer hasn't paid, I'd probably accept the Poshmark and maybe just still hold on to it until, the 4 days has gone by.
Yeah. And I'm contemplating messaging them on Poshmark and being like, hey, this did sell on another platform, but I don't know if you could say that on Poshmark, right? Like, would they
to mention another platform?
Yeah.
Because you can't do it on eBay, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. And so I don't want to get in trouble on Poshmark, but just say, hey, like, if they don't pay in 2 days, I'm going to relist it and then you can have it.
What percent of your buyers do pay?
I don't know.
What your feeling is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent amount. A good percentage of them do. And they sent the offer this morning. So they probably, the likelihood of them paying is pretty good. But if I deny it on Poshmark, that's when they're not going to pay. Right? Like that's the way that it works. They won't pay, but I could always message them again, right? And say, hey, this is available now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So for those who are just joining or are new to reselling, on eBay, you absolutely do not want to cancel a sale. So if I'm waiting for them to pay, that's still canceling it in 4 days, then you can cancel and you won't get in trouble. Poshmark, meh, like you don't get in trouble. I wouldn't make it a practice to cancel a lot, but if I were to accept it and then in 4 days it paid on eBay, I wouldn't get, quote unquote, in trouble. So that's kind of why this conversation is happening. So people who are new and just following us, that's kind of where we're at.
I have a little bit of circumstantial evidence that instant payment on offers is rolling out on eBay. I've seen some other people post things, but I had an offer that I sent offers on bulk, and within 10 minutes, I had one accepted, and the payment came in bang, bang. It was offer accepted and payment together. And even to like ding, ding, 2 notifications right together. And so that to me means they committed to pay when they clicked the send offer button and the payment went through immediately. So
and that just happened today.
It's rolling out to buyers, not through sellers. That's my theory.
Yes. So I have heard through, social media that it's in beta.
Yeah.
And at the eBay Open, they did say it was supposed to come out by the end of the year. So that does make sense. It would be amazing because it doesn't happen often. I'd say maybe 10, 15%.
Yeah, I was going to say 10% probably don't pay.
Yeah, but it's kind of a pain because situations like this happen and I may lose out on $40.
You've lost it. It's off the market for 4 days. And that's
right. And I never take it off. I don't take it off until they've actually paid on eBay.
Same.
Because
I make it not available though, just because I don't want to be
in this situation.
Yeah, right.
I go, and I also, because my VA takes stuff off, so he only does it twice a week. So there's like 4 days that, but he only takes it off if it's been paid. So if he takes it off today, he wouldn't have taken it off yet because it hasn't been paid, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's jump into the chat, see if anyone else has any suggestions for me there. The 5 resellers are saying, hello, all. We sold a used Margaret Howell men's jacket for $125. I don't do a lot of men's. I like the $125 price tag, though. I'm assuming that's a good brand.
I'm probably up to 20% men's now. I've really been doing more and more.
Yeah, I'm trying because I feel like the men's that I do know sells pretty well. Like they will just pay as long as you price it appropriately. They'll just pay and it moves pretty quick if you know what you're doing. I've spent 37 years learning women's. It's taking me time. And my husband's like, I'll just go to Target. I don't care. So he's no help. Ginger Marvin, my best sale this week was a bundle of Chloe Flats and Forever 21 sweater.
That's a good bundle.
I know, I love it. One I actually found when we were at the bins last week. So Kathy is, I went shopping with her and the 5 resellers. They came into town and met them last week at the bins. Sold for $108.35 shipped. I kind of like that combo.
Yeah, that's good evidence that you should have a mix of items.
Yeah, designer and fast fashion all in one bundle.
Yeah, I don't pick up Forever 21 a lot. Maybe I should though. I'll pick it up to sell to like Plato's, and then if they don't take it, I'll sell. But it's so cheap anyway. Okay, Duncan, let's get into the questions. Duncan is asking. We'll answer Duncan's question, and then I will get to the questions that we had I did ask on Instagram, and so I want to make sure that those questions get answered first. But he's asking for a few reseller tips. So why don't you guys give us maybe your, I don't want to say top 3. Just give us a couple reseller tips. People are new to reselling, or maybe something you wish that you knew 3 years ago when you started. Some of your best tips.
I had a really good one earlier today, and I was going to write it down. I wish I had.
I think I'll start with something. And it's not, I think most resellers will probably say this, who have been doing it for a little bit. Don't get excited just about the brand and don't buy it just because it's cheap, right? Like look up the comp, be strategic with your buying. Just because it's cheap or it's a good brand doesn't mean that it's going to sell quickly or that it's even worth your money. I struggle with that at the bins because everything's so cheap.
Yep.
And really being mindful of, is this worth my time and money? And now, because I'm out of space, is it worth taking up space in my inventory right now?
It's
Sort of
like
on the same token, it's, if something sells well for somebody else, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to sell well for you either. I have that problem a lot.
Mhm.
it's you have to, as a new reseller learning stuff. Well, first of all, you never get it learned.
Right.
I mean, I remember learning Anthropologie was a great pickup, and now it's not a sure sale. I mean,
No.
in 2017, it was almost a sure sale. If you had a cute Anthropologie top, you could sell it. And now I hear so many people, I watch hauls on YouTube and just for company. And well, the best line of all YouTube hauls is always, I don't usually pick this up, but here it is in my hand. Right? and there's the components to any one purchase are the brand, the category, like what kind of item is it? Because in any brand, only certain categories have good resale value. What's the cost? What's the condition? And what's the style? And a really great, rating in one of those categories could override a lesser rating in another category. But I would say never let condition, poor condition at a great price is not a good deal. Condition is so critical to
Yes, and
avoid
even
disappointing people.
condition in a lower item will often sell as well too, right? Like if you have a really high quality or a really in great condition item, it's going to sell even if it's only, $20, $25. It can go in and out. I'm thinking of Crocs. This is where it's coming from. So Crocs will sell, $20, $30. So not super high, but if they're in good condition, they will move quickly for me, right? Where if I were to find, an Anthropologie top that had a hole in it, no.
Yeah.
Right.
If
And
you
something you
ever,
talked.
if you ever hold up something and say, "Does this look a little worn?" I say to
Red
Heidi,
flag.
"Pick up." I've saved so many things with a sweater shaver, with mending, with stain treatments. I know what I can do in that area. But if you think, "Does this look a little worn?"
There's not
those
really
are the
coming
things I
back
pick
from
up.
that.
You can't fix it's a little worn. And some
Right.
brands are terrible for that.
Yes.
You look at them and you think, "Why was this ever $200?" Because after 6 months of wear, it looks worn out. But
Yeah.
I
you can
noticed that
fix
in
some things.
Paige jeans a lot. They
They're
don't really sell well anymore, but like
the
5 years, but
the
right
front
at the
blows out.
The
yes,
Yep.
right
puckering.
at the top
Mhm.
almost every single time, and I'm like, I don't know how these used to be $200 jeans, right? Like
Too much spandex.
yeah, it's just wild. So Diane is saying my quickest sale. I like quick sales too. They don't always have to be high if it's in and out the door. Sold on eBay, Hello Kitty Converse high tops. I have heard Hello Kitty everything is just fire. Oh yeah, the 5 resellers. Well, I sold a used Margaret Howell jacket for $126. Wow. And my story isn't lost. I just haven't posted in days because I'm overwhelmed by the messaging. Okay, phew. I thought there was an Instagram glitch that I had to know about. Let's see. Oh, so Veronica's saying she'd message them. Back to my question. She'd message them on Poshmark. Just don't mention eBay. Yeah, I was going to say like another platform. Like this is currently not available. If it becomes available in 3 days, I'll let you know. I don't know. I would just say this sold as on a cross post and resend the invoice. Yes, I reminded them today, but you know how that goes. We're still waiting for the feature. Yes, the
Instant payment.
Yes, the instant payment feature would be amazing. The best sale. So you guys have to keep in mind what we're doing here to remember which sale you think is the best sale. At the end, we'll decide. My best sale was a set of 6 Liddy Martini shot glasses with blue bottom. I'm assuming that means something for $50 and buyer paid shipping. I don't do that kind of stuff. But the way he described it, it makes me sound like the blue bomber.
Great keywords.
Yes, right. He's trying to come up in the SEO, or she. Sorry, it was Laura. I had 2 offers in the last week that never paid. One kept writing me every day that he will pay, and then never did. Those are the ones that I don't understand, where they like communicate with you and then never pay.
Well, and eBay used to let you postpone payments for 2 weeks. Or you could just leave it open and say, "Oh, okay, when your paycheck comes or you sell your motorcycle or whatever, then you can come back and pay me." And those are holdovers from long ago when people would just take forever.
Well, I mean, originally they like
checks in the mail, right?
Check in the mail, right? So it is getting better. The people who are like, "Oh, this is terrible,"
it's so much better.
So the 5 resellers are saying they're going to wait till the December 26th for eBay to roll it out to everyone. I love selling men's. I really dislike selling women's, except shoes. I love shoes. I do like selling men's. I just have to learn it. I'm slowly. I started.
You sell men's, Kate?
Yeah, very infrequently, but I do.
Do you sell it infrequently because it's not selling, or because you don't shop in that part of the store?
I don't shop in that part of the store. Usually it's when I go to the bins, I end up coming home with a bunch of men's items.
Oh, okay. See, that's the trick, isn't it, Sarah, with data?
Yeah.
That you could say, "Oh, that brand, I never sell that brand," or "That brand never sells well for me." Well, it's because you only have one of them in your store.
Right.
And something sells great for you because you have a lot of it.
Right. Which is why I look at sell-through rate. Because if you have a lot, like if you're selling a lot of it, but you have a lot of it, doesn't necessarily mean it's selling well either.
Well, yeah.
And I did a video because Poshmark, their data was significantly better than I thought it was going to be. So that, I mean, I was surprised, but they don't include sell-through rate. And so a lot of times it'll tell you your brand or I think they had brands and maybe categories and stuff. Well, if you're selling a lot of tops, let's say you're selling
because you have a lot of tops
and you have 500 tops, you have 200 or 480 tops that are not selling. So stop picking up tops, right? I did a video on the Poshmark data. So if you guys want more details on that, but definitely something that doesn't sell well, if you only have one of it, yeah, you can only possibly sell one as well. Oh, this is something I knew when I started. I wish I knew when I started reselling. I only shopped based on brands. I heard from other resellers. I didn't know how to look up comps, which is great. And this is part of the reason. I had a couple of people last week ask why I don't do hauls. And I do them sometimes, but I think it's more informative to see what's selling. Not what I buy, because and no disrespect to anyone who does hauls, they're fun to watch. And I do them sometimes too, but I could buy a whole bunch of crap and show it to you. Like, I picked this up, and you would never know if it sold. So that's why I like to do a lot more what's sold, so you can see this is what's actually selling, not all the crap that I bought and is not selling. And see kind of the numbers behind it and how to look things up. Don't let new with tags fool you. Just because it has the tags doesn't mean it'll sell better. That's true. And high retail. Like Trina Turk is one of them. Her retail is so high and it'll sell for like $20. Like a silk new with tag dress Trina Turk will be like $500 and it'll sell for $25 on Poshmark. So retail value, you can go off of that as well. Okay, let's get into some questions that we have from. Yes. Okay, we had some questions on Instagram. We'll get to those first. Quick reminder, if you guys are just joining, I am doing a giveaway of a dashboard. So make sure to let us know what your best sale this week was. And then we will choose someone at the end that we think had the best sale of the week. And I will send you a DM on Instagram to get your free dashboard. So a couple questions that we have. Sorry, I'm just pulling it up. First question we had. So this goes back to the beginning, talking about the promoted listing advance. So pay per click. Duncan mentioned it earlier. If you guys are new or haven't really seen it, eBay has done a new beta on promoted listing advance. I have a full video on it, what it is and how to decide if it's something that you should do. So we won't get too into all of that, but it's basically you're paying. It's kind of how Google does it. You pick an item, you pick keywords. And every time it's promoted and clicked on for that, you pay, regardless of if it sells or not. With their current promoted listing, you pay to promote it. And if it sells via promoted listing, then you pay, right? So the difference, you're paying whether or not it sells or not. And so we did have a question. A lot of people in the community are like, hey, this is going to put small buyers out because these big stores can afford to pay and the small buyers can't. I've seen in a lot of Facebook groups, although in the Facebook groups you see all the negatives, so take it for what it is. But hey, my sales are really low and this is why it is. And so I want to hear if you guys have looked at the promoted listing advance, what your thoughts are on it, and if you're using it, why or why not.
I haven't looked at it yet, to be honest. I do use the regular promoted, but I haven't had a chance to look at the advanced yet.
I listened to them talk about it on the eBay for Business podcast before it came out, and read the announcement on the eBay, on the seller platform about what it was. And I'm not using it. My first thought was that it's not designed for sellers like me or for what I'm selling. And I saw a lot of potential risk, and I didn't see any upside. I think it's for categories other than used clothing, for sellers other than Heidi sitting in her little bedroom apartment in her office. I just think it might have even been something that some of the mega sellers were asking for. And hell no.
Yeah, agreed. And so I think, to further on what you said, it's not for Heidi sellers, which is also a Sarah seller, right? Like we sell one-off thrifted items. If you're going to do keywords, I don't use, maybe women's jeans or like something super broad. But I don't need to really rank. I don't know. It's just not there. I was trying to come up with like what keywords would I use. And I think if you do clothing or something, more like this, but you are doing like liquidation and you are selling Levi jeans, right? And you're just selling like multiple quantities of it and it's a big competition, then maybe that would be worth it for you. I show in the video, and this is why I'm not using it. I show in the video, there's a place in your eBay store and it'll show you how you rank for your search. And so if you're noticing, and I go really in depth into the video, so watch it, but if you're noticing, this is why I'm not doing it. If you're noticing that you haven't changed anything, you're still using the same SEO, everything is the same, and your search ranking is starting to go down, it's possible that your competition is using it. And that's a time that you may want to consider doing it, because if you want to stay on par and still rank and your competition is all doing it, you may have to start doing it as well. My ranking has stayed consistent the past 2 or 3 months that they've rolled it out. So I don't think that is necessary. I don't think a lot of other clothing resellers are doing it. And I'm still ranking how I was ranking before it. And my sales are staying consistent. So I haven't used it. I'm with you too. I see a lot of risk in using it and paying for it. But if your competition's doing it, you may have to figure out how to put that into your business model, right? If you're not ranking anymore and your sales are going down because your competition's using it, you may have to move into it. I don't think it's something that most of us and probably most of my following is going to have to worry about. But that's kind of how I went about it to see, and I'm going to keep an eye on it to see if other people are using it. We do have I'm going to put my game face on, but this is a pretty good sale. I just sold a Gucci bucket bag for $900.
Wow.
Spent $15. I'm packing it right now. So that's definitely a legit sale. Hello Kitty Converse was purchased from a consignment store, so all the items purchased for the day cost $6.17. With a couple hours, got an offer of $67. That's a pretty legit offer for Converse, guys.
Yeah.
So definitely keep an eye out for Hello Kitty Converse. Given how slow sales conversion rates are in categories like secondhand clothing, you'd be paying for many clicks with a low percentage number of sales. Very well worded. She said that in one sentence, what we just said. Definitely. If you're having slow conversions, if you're in a high traffic and you can afford to pay for it, I just don't think that's our market for it. If you guys are using it, though, in the chat, let us know. Let's go to the next one. This one's a fun question. So what was the first item that you sold on Poshmark? I tried to, and I will say I tried to go through my Poshmark before this started, but you have to scroll and scroll, and I didn't get all the way to the bottom. I was going to show it to you guys. I think one of the first items I sold, it was likely either something from my closet. When I started reselling, I went from upcycle to reselling. When I started, I had to have a baby maybe a year and a half. And so like some of my bigger clothes weren't fitting. I had a lot of maternity clothes. So it was probably something from my closet. Or I remember finding a Patagonia that didn't fit me at the thrift store and being like, this is so nice. And I bought it even though it didn't fit me. And then I found reselling and I was like, oh, cool, I can sell it. So I think it was like a Patagonia, maybe a scintilla or something. I don't remember. But do you guys have yours?
Mine was a pair of Converse that were from my personal closet, and they sold for a whopping $13 on Poshmark.
Nice. And how long ago? So when was this?
January 10th of 2018. So that was before I really got into like thrifting to resell. I was just trying to offload stuff from my own closet that I didn't wear.
Which is kind of the trouble in reselling too. I was reading an article that reselling in this market is good for the environment because we're doing secondhand, but then it can also, and I know I do, that's why I'm like, oh, I'll just buy it. And then if I don't wear it, I'll just resell it. So then I'm actually buying more than if I just bought like one really high quality.
Yep.
And as resellers, I'm like, I'll just buy it. I'll wear it.
We just justify it.
Yeah, I'll just sell it. All right, Heidi, what was your first sale?
My first Poshmark sale was February 8th of 2018. I started on Poshmark about 3 months after I started on eBay. And it was a pair of silver Mackenzie jeans for $27.
Nice. And how was the photography on those guys?
Well, my cover shot was the back pocket, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
And other than my background is not as white as it is now, I'm not actually horrified.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I would be horrified. I like started in my bedroom when the kids were asleep and it was like dark.
Mine are just on my floor with the back of the door visible.
I mean, it's not bad. I wish I could. Maybe I'll scroll and put it on my stories later and show you guys my first picture.
My husband actually had a set of photography lights. He's been a photographer since he was 17. And he said, oh, I think I still have those big fan-powered umbrella. I bounced off the umbrella, but they're fan-powered, very high wattage bulbs. I hope they never die. And he said, boy, if you're going to take pictures, you should have something like that. So he brought it home and set it up in the corner. And
there you go.
So I had pro lighting from the first day.
Oh, nice. A couple months in, my brother used to be a photographer and he like did it here and there. So he gave me some of his stuff and that's what I still have, but it's like 20-year-old. Like all of these light kits, I am not fancy like that. And I just have a natural bulb. And that's but it works. My first Poshmark sale was a pair of my own Clark shoes. I think that's how a lot of people got into it, right? Just cleaning out their closet. Especially on Poshmark. That's kind of the purpose.
I had nothing worth selling in my own closet. Sadly, when I retired, I gave to Goodwill all my suits and all my high heels and all my actually good clothes. I gave it all away, and somebody maybe resold it.
So it eventually got sold. Okay, so we have someone asking, what's your shoe sell-through rate? That's kind of a very specific question. So if you guys don't know that off the top of your head.
I don't know it off the top of my head, but I do know it's probably my biggest selling category is shoes.
I hardly sell any shoes, mainly because I don't have very many shoes for sale. Mainly because when I look at shoes in my thrift stores, there's nothing good there. The best pair of shoes I ever found were a pair of Lanvin flats, those little ballerina flats made in Italy. Retail like $600. And they happened to be one of my daughter's size. And I sent her a picture and I said, would you like to try on a pair of $500 Italian shoes? And she said, And
you a dancer?
As a gift. But yeah, I see maybe 3 or 4 pairs of shoes a year that I think are worth reselling in my thrift stores.
Really? Where are you located?
I'm in West Michigan. Closest city is Grand Rapids, which is the metro is about 1.5 million people. But most of the shoes I see are from Target, Kohl's, Penny's. That's all.
Although I'm going to show you guys my sell-through rate. That's why I'm pulling the screen up. I mean, some of the lower brand stuff like Skechers, Crocs, like it doesn't have to be super high end, but so my sell-through rate for November of shoes, it's one of my top selling categories. Sell-through rate is 13.98%. And then my profit, so less my cost of goods, is $30. So anything up, if you guys don't follow my channel, anything up in here is, my top selling. It has a high sell-through rate and a high profit or average sale price, depending on what chart. And shoes is definitely up there for me. I wanted to also show this to people who are not necessarily don't track their data, but you can go into, right now I'm on eBay. Can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I can't see you. So I'm like, I hope you can see this as I'm talking. So you can, if you have a store, actually they made Terapeak available for anyone. So you can go into Terapeak. And I just typed in Nike sneakers. So you can look at anything you want and it'll tell you the current sell-through rate and the current average sale price on whatever you look up. And so let's say Nike sneakers, the average sell-through rate for that in the past 30 days is 12%. Average sale price $135. I'm not selling my Nikes for that. I think a lot of people are doing maybe new, or Nike has a lot of really high stuff if you can find collabs and stuff. But if you're curious, hey, how am I doing? You can go into Terapeak and say, hey, this is what I'm selling. Because shoes is very broad too, right? Like if you're a shoe head and you're selling those $135 Nikes, that's different than if you're selling Skechers, right? Like shoes is so broad. Or if you're selling boots, or maybe you're selling Gucci heels, right? So that's definitely a way for you to kind of gut check how you're doing compared to the market. Quick reminder, we are doing a giveaway. I'm giving away a dashboard. So if you guys want to let us know what your best sale of the week was, and we will pick our best, who we think it had the best sale. And then I have a couple questions left from Instagram, and we'll be answering any questions if you guys have it in the chat. We're talking all things eBay and Poshmark. So let us know if you guys have any specific questions. And then you can ask Makari and the Real and ThredUp too, because Kay does those as well. My first Poshmark sale was a naturalizer slip-on shoe sold for $20. I got it as a garage sale for $1. I mean, that's a pretty decent profit.
Yeah.
Don't hate that. I don't think I ever sold naturalizers though. I see them all the time, but I don't ever pick them up. Okay, another sell-through rate question. So is it possible to have a high sell-through rate with a high average sale price? I can answer, but you guys can.
Mathematically, yes.
I mean, yeah.
In the world I live in, no.
Not likely for me to ever happen, but yeah.
Some of my most profitable flips were very fast. But some of my highest price listings are the slowest sellers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it comes down to what is it? Because if it's a great item that's in high demand and very low supply, and you find lots of them, yes, you can flip them as fast as you can get them. And the issue is most of the stuff that's high value has a much smaller customer base. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There are more people willing to buy a hobo bag for $25 than are willing or able to buy a Gucci bucket bag.
Right. And I mean, you hit the nail on the head that it's possible. It's not likely. And very few people probably have that business model, because it's not like we're not all going around finding these high in demand or see, I'm not cool enough to know what's cool right now. But if you were like, if Adidas just dropped, or like Nike just dropped their newest collab and you got one of them, or my husband does gaming and stuff, like you can't find Switches right now. So if you found a Switch and you could sell it, but you could not make a business out of that because it's high in demand because no one can find them. Right. And so it is mathematically possible. And that's kind of in the chart that I have. Anything up here I call my Bolo brand. That's essentially what I would say is a Bolo brand. It has a high average sale price and a high sell-through rate. And when people say BOLO, that's typically kind of what I think of, is it's going to sell quickly and it's going to sell at a high price.
I hear a lot of people, and I participate in the reseller community on social media, YouTube, Instagram, and in Clubhouse. And I hear people talk about they're planning to, or they have changed their business model so that they have a higher average sale price. And to which I would think, well, we all want a higher average sale price. And you get better at, if you're thrifting, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about people who are doing liquidation. I think a lot of people who are successful in having a higher average sale price are sourcing at consignment, if they have great consignment stores available to them, and they're paying more.
Yeah.
I was
Their
just
ROI might be great, but for me, I would rather buy 10 items that cost $4 than one that cost 40.
Right, because you have to have and I was thinking about this too. I know I can think of a couple of resellers in the community, and everyone has a different business model.
Yeah, and they do, and you should do what you enjoy mostly.
And what you know, but you have to be able to do that. You have to have that capital up front, right? Like you can go to the bins and spend $1 an item, and you're not going to have a high average sale price, but you don't have to make money. Yeah, and you don't have to have a lot of money to start. If you're going to consignment stores, or you're finding, flips, and spending $200 to flip a pair of Gucci shoes or whatever it is, you have to have that $200 up front. Yes, you may make $400 eventually, but the sell-through rate, unless it's high in demand, the sell-through rate too, like it's usually going to take you a little bit longer. So you're having to put more up front and also sit on wait longer as well, which is completely a totally valid business model. There's people who do it, but it is something, I think the same thing when people are like trying to increase their average sell price. I'm like, I'll do a quick flip. I'll sell a pair of Crocs. If they sell for $20 in a week, that's $20. I can go buy 20 more pairs of Crocs and sell those in a week. And I'm making money that way too, right? It depends on what you can find.
I think it also has to do with, your customer base too. Because I know anytime I find like a high-end designer item, I cannot move it for the life of me because it's just not my customer. So that kind of turns me off too from, paying up for an item that could potentially just sit forever because it's just not who I sell to.
Yeah. And if you don't sell a lot of it, like I grew up, we would go to the thrift store and I would get stoked to find Abercrombie and Fitch. Like that was high end to me. That's kind of where I'm coming from. So I don't know a lot about luxury. And so it would take a lot of learning, you can sell fakes. I don't know what to look for and what's trendy and so it's a lot of learning. If you know that, and you can look at things and you know what they're going to be worth and you know it's going to flip. I can look at Crocs and be like, who's going to I keep going back to Crocs. My video coming out, spoiler alert, my video coming back, Crocs is one of my top performing brands last month. So that's why I keep going back to it. But they sell for $20, but they're very consistent sellers.
I would just encourage particularly beginning resellers to learn to identify the best stuff that's available to you. So that you don't miss it in the thrift store. You'll have to spend more time looking up brands you've never heard of to discover they're sold on Amazon, or they're not, they're not great brands. But my best, most profitable flips have been brands I've never heard of. And I've watched a lot of hauls. So if you know quality, or you recognize, boy, that label might be, it just tells me it might be worth looking up, because we all flip past all the brands we already know that we don't want, right? And then once in a while you get poofed. But you have to look up a lot of stuff in the beginning that later you won't have to look up.
Yeah.
But don't feel bad. Don't feel bad if you can't find the stuff that other people are finding. Source the best stuff that you can find. And sell it as quickly as you can.
Yes. And that's valid. And 100% what my channel is about is looking at those numbers. You can make money selling anything. You can make lots of money selling anything. If you know that you are not going, if you live in somewhere where you can only find, things that are selling for $15, make that your business plan. And, you just have to work on processes, and you're going to have to do a volume game, but you can do it, right? Like you just have to work with the numbers with what you can find. Watching hauls and saying, I'm never going to find that. I mean, it's good to know all of them, but like most of that stuff, I'm like,
And we've all found things where you stand in a thrift store and go, how on earth did you get here?
Yeah, I don't find a lot of stuff like Lily Pulitzer, because it's more of a something in the South. I rarely find
I found Ermenegildo Zigna twice, and both times it's like, what are you doing in my town?
And thank you. So my best sale this week was a Johnny Was button-down shirt. I sold for $60 and bought for $4. It sold the same day I listed. That's always exciting. Awesome. I found some of that at the bins a couple weeks ago. It hasn't been listed yet though. So my best sell, if you guys do not follow Utah Bought and Gone, I had him on a couple weeks ago. His channel, his Instagram, I think he has a YouTube too, but he does a lot of Instagram. He finds the best stuff and educates the community. He's definitely a great person to follow. Lots of great content out there. And he resells, but he does a lot of other like investing and property type stuff too. Kind of, just making money in various different side hustles. Definitely follow him. My best sale was a Dyson vacuum. It sold today. I paid $10 and sold for $170 with free shipping. Luckily, the buyer lives in AZ, Arizona, so it should be pretty cheap to ship for its size.
It works out.
Yeah, I'm terrified to sell stuff like that, but
me too.
I am too.
Let's see. This was my first designer item, pure luck. Well, kudos. I'm having a rough week with my best sale was a hand-rolled silk Luciano Ferenzi. Did I say it right?
I wish I had that rough week every week.
I know. I mean, that's not a bad profit.
That's not
my best sale, I bought an American Girl books for $19, sold a set of 6 books for $49, and another set of 6 books for $30. I still have a huge stack left. American Girl it always reminds me of, if you guys, Lori Boston Fine.
Lori Tata.
Yeah, she used to work there and knows all that stuff. Sold a vintage Ralph Lauren women's blazer without the crest, paid $475 and paid. I read that wrong. I was like, you're in trouble. You paid $75 and you sold it for $5. She paid $5 and sold it for $75 and sold in one day. So that would be, in my mind, a bolo, right? It sold very quickly for a high price. If you guys do have questions, we are getting towards the end, but if you have questions in the chat, definitely make sure to ask. Our next question is, how are people using, this is good. And I want to show it, but I don't like showing customer data. But so on Poshmark recently rolled out some new features as well. And one of them is My Shoppers. So you can go in, do you have a video? Do either of you have a video of it? How to do it? Like a how-to video?
To be honest, I haven't even looked at it.
Okay. I know how to use it, but I don't like showing, I guess it's public, so I can go through and show customers. So you can go in and instead of people would like more than one item, you would have to figure out that they liked more than one item, tap on them, create a bundle, and then talk to them. My Shoppers, now you go to My Shoppers and it will show you all the people who have been interactive with your closet. It'll tell you people if they have put things in bundles. It'll tell you how many likes they have. And then you can communicate with them directly from there, and you can send like bulk offers.
Oh.
It's pretty cool, especially for Poshmark. It definitely, I mean, it still is time consuming because you have to go through and look, but it's less time consuming than it used to be.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I might do a video. I think Sell Quick, Ship Quick, they were on a couple of weeks ago, but I'm almost positive I saw on their Instagram that they have a tutorial on how to do it. But that's kind of what it is. Kay, you don't know what it is. So I'm assuming you have not used it. Heidi, have you checked it out?
I have not. And I have a question that's kind of related. Mm-hmm. Salespeople will talk about qualified leads versus, just cold calling, right? Are likes on Poshmark and watchers on eBay, are they equivalent quality?
No.
Yeah. So see, that's why when I send offers to watchers on eBay versus the results I get when I send offers to likers on Poshmark, it's shocking the difference. Well, didn't you just send a whole bunch of offers, Sarah, and get?
Yes. So on my stories, I did it yesterday.
I think people like things on Poshmark as a way of like cute, good job, or sharing
Well,
the
it's a
love,
social.
or maybe in 6 months I'll be shopping for a shirt and I want to remember that one.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's a social media app, right? Like we have to, as resellers, we
Right,
kind
right.
of
I get
sometimes
it's
forget that.
different.
So
And
you're
that's why I
like,
think the quality of likers.
right. And some people do send it to get an offer. But
Okay.
agreed that it's not
I
like
wish
people
they would
who
just
are,
go ahead and offer.
yes, right. People on eBay that are watching an item are like legit watching it. They want like maybe in 2 weeks they want to buy it, or they've watched a couple different ones to see what is happening. Sometimes other sellers are watching your
And
item
then
to
other
see what,
sellers, yeah.
so that you're not going to make a sale there. But Poshmark, I think it's definitely like, oh, that's cute. Oh, that's cute. Like if you're on Instagram, right? Like, oh, I
Or
like that.
or on Ulta,
Yes.
right?
They're
Right.
just window shopping.
You can love
Right.
all the things on Ulta and never buy them.
Right. And to that point, so I have done, I will say this weekend, I sent offers to everything in my closet, 1,500 items. I made 0 sales. So, womp womp. But I think it does help with activity. My shopper, I have tried it a couple times. What I'm doing with it, it takes about 5 minutes. I'll go in once a week, and anyone who has liked more than one item, you can make a bundle, like put it into a bundle, and then
Right.
I'll send an offer on a bundle. So trying to get bundle sales. It takes me about 5 minutes to do a week worth of people, which isn't
Terrible.
time consuming like eBay, where you can do it in 30 seconds and send it
Yeah.
to everyone, but significantly quicker than it used to be. I've done that for 3 weeks in a row, and I've made one bundle sale.
Yeah.
So.
My closet is too small, I think, to benefit from that.
Yeah. But I think if you have a curated closet, or if you have it, what they're trying to do is get that boutique-y feeling. If someone walked into your store, a brick and mortar, you'd be like, hi, how are you? How can I help you? And I think that's kind of what they're,
Oh, I run from those stores. I'm just looking.
Yeah. Leave me alone. I know, I do too. I'm like, I know where to find you. Like,
I think that's part of why I haven't checked it out yet, because Poshmark is just way too manual for me, that I just try to do like the bare minimum and get away with it.
Yeah. Well, and I will say now, obviously this is anecdotal. Maybe I will do a survey and, get some bigger evidence on if it's working for people, because that's just my experience with it. But I think to your point, Heidi, like likes aren't really people looking.
They're not as serious, I think, a buyer as a watcher, but
yes. Okay, quick reminder, if you guys are just joining, I am giving away a dashboard to look at your analytics and your data. Any of the charts that I show on my channel in my videos is from a dashboard. You just put your data in it, and then you can have access to your data and analytics. And we want to know your best sale for this week. Let us know in the chat, and we will pick someone at the end. We have about 7 minutes left. So if you guys do have any questions, your burning questions on Poshmark and eBay, definitely make sure to give us an ask. Those are all my Instagram questions. Heidi, you mentioned that you had some questions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to do comps, I do comps mostly on eBay, and then I'll just use that same price on Poshmark. But for some items, it makes more sense to also do comps on Poshmark. How do you determine the date something sold?
You can't, because there's no year. It just says the month and the date.
Oh, on eBay when you look it up?
Well, on Poshmark.
On Poshmark.
Oh, on Poshmark. Yeah, I don't look at comps on Poshmark.
Yeah, there's no way to tell which year it's from. It literally will just tell you the month and the number day.
If you sort it by just shared, would it?
I even looked at my own closet, and the date that I sold it, because I knew that date, was not the date that it was last modified according on the listing. When I click on the sold listing, it might say, what does it say? Last updated. Mm-hmm. Last updated, and it said like October 30, and I sold it on November 3rd. So,
but that's within a couple of days. So
yes.
I mean, it's not right.
And so you have no idea if this great. You mentioned Trina Turk. I've got an amazing Trina Turk alpaca coat, and one sold for $375, but I don't know when.
I mean, but if there's only one, I go for it. Start high.
Yeah, it was $479. So
yeah.
I mean, you could
get 100 for it.
You could sort and filter by sold, and then try to also filtered by just in, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that's
But
it's in the
it's still
order.
not going to tell you definitive date.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I would do when I look at stuff, is to see. That's
It
most
does
of
put
what I
them
do
in
when I
an
look at.
order of sales, but not, it could still be 3 years ago.
Yes,
The
if they're not
property.
active. Yeah, if it wasn't. That's true. Yeah, I
Because they
don't.
can't afford those extra 4 digits.
Hey, they've given us a lot this year. I
Okay,
don't think
yes,
you
you're
can be
right,
very
you're right.
picky for an extra.
You're right, I'm actually sharing my closet again now because I can.
Now, they have given us a lot, but they still haven't given us a lot of the things that we've been asking for consistently. So it's
Oh,
kind of, one and the other.
Yeah.
but it's actually, I'm surprised. I don't remember when I mentioned this on one of my videos, but I think since they filed for an IPO, their shareholders are like, you have to make money, and resellers are going to do that for you, because this is the first year that I'm like, okay, these tools, while they aren't everything that I want them to be, they are actually in the right direction. Usually they're like, hey, we gave this tool, and I'm like, what? That's what? That's not going to do anything
I
for
would
me.
say of all the improvements for tools for sellers, whether you're a professional seller or not, of all the improvements I've seen over 4 years, 90% of them have been made in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. And they went public last year, and this was their
Right.
first full year. And I thought it could make or break them. They had to pick whether they're going to be for like, they were straddling that. We want to be for the small people cleaning out their closet, so we're not giving the tools of resellers need. But then sometimes I'm like, you got to pick,
Wouldn't
one or
you
the
love
other.
to know
Pick your strategy.
You're either going to
perc-
cater to the hobbyists, or you're going to cater to resellers. Who's going to make you the more money,
Wouldn't you love to know what percent of sellers are responsible for what percent of sales?
Yes, my guess is the resellers are like the top 10%.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't take that much to be the top 10%, right? Because when you first started on Poshmark, tell me you weren't a top percent.
Poshmark thinks
Or
that
in
I'm
the
an
first month.
amazing top percent seller, and I'm not.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, unless
Yeah.
they completely fib that, but like, you could be a top percent seller in the first month if you like put a little effort into it. It's not. Think about all of the people who just put their closet, put stuff out there, and then, I mean, how many
Sell
times
2
have you bought
things and
something on
never again.
Poshmark and they just never shipped? Like, they
Yeah.
just never. Right, and we forget that as resellers. That's why. But I think they're headed in that direction. That's my gut feeling, is they're going to move into something similar to eBay, which I think is a good idea. You can pay for a store, or you can, right? Because now they have like, oh, you have an ambassador thing badge, and you have a, like, to identify us, and possibly, I don't know if paying, but if you're a reseller, you can get these extra tools and then still have the level of people, which is just going to push those people out the door, because I'm not going to buy from someone who hasn't met those standards, because I want to make sure that I get my item. Right?
Yeah, I struggle with shopping on Poshmark. I would say half the purchases I made, I never got. They just went there.
Yep.
Right. And I can't even find any. They're filtered. Their search. This is not supposed to be a bashing
No, we're
Poshmark.
not bashing Poshmark.
No.
I sold them.
It's constructive.
Silver jeans.
Yes. I go to Poshmark to try and find things, and then I search, and in about 4 minutes, I'm like, I'm done. Like, I can't find what I'm looking for. I don't want what's just in. I want you to find what the keywords that I just entered. Okay, so we are wrapping up. Let's see if we have any questions. We have a couple extra what sold. Keep an eye. Remember, guys, we're gonna say what our best sale was. My best sale for the week is Ugg Boots Black, sold for $85. Cost was $5. My Ugg sales are going down.
Mine too.
Yeah, they're still selling, but not at the price that they used to. I didn't have my shoppers as of yesterday, but I will look again when this ends. Oh, have you update your iOS? Because I think most people should.
Is it only on the app, or is it on desktop too?
I can only see it from desktop. I can't find it on my phone.
Oh, I see. I can't find it on desktop.
So when I'm on desktop, if I click on the right-hand side, my little icon for my user, underneath my bundles, I see my shoppers. It's between my bundles and my purchases.
And it's in a different
Sorry.
Of course. It's a different place on the app. So that could be it. On the app, when you click like on your icon, and then you go to seller tools, and then it's my shoppers. And that's where you would get like your closet insight and stuff too.
Interesting.
My shoppers
Thank you for
only
that,
like
Sarah.
one thing.
Oh, I don't ever do anything on the computer, so I might not have it. My best sale of this week was a pair of Freebird ankle boots I sold on Poshmark for $130. I got them at a buy sell trade store by trading in sale inventory. I know a lot of people definitely do that. Do you do just in? So I'm
What does that
wondering.
mean about sold comps?
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking, and I think Kay had brought that up. Sorel boots. I love selling Sorels. Picked up from the bins for $3, sold for $75. Let's see. Your date of last modified could have changed if you shared it after it's sold.
Good point. I accidentally do that sometimes.
Oh, well, womp womp. There goes that theory. So no, that's not an option. I use Terapeak to look it up, or Google. I've noticed oftentimes, like I personally was shopping for a Patagonia fanny pack. And so I went to eBay and I looked it up and I was like, this seems kind of expensive. So I just went to Google to see if it would come up on like Poshmark or Mercari. And the prices on eBay were higher than buying it new at a store. So I'm trying to be more cognizant because they were comped right on eBay compared to other sellers. They were all around the same price. But I think REI had a sale and it was cheaper there. So when I'm trying to be mindful of looking at comps on Google, because people look at other platforms.
Yeah, try not to price it higher than the merchant is originally.
Yes, right. And I actually bought it on Poshmark and they never shipped it. So I just ended up buying it new. When you made your purchase on Poshmark, did you look at when your seller was last active before purchasing it? This helps me have success.
That's a good tip.
That is, I'm not going to do the extra work.
I hate that I have to do it.
This is why I still have Posh credits just hanging out that I just haven't found anything to buy with yet because I just don't want to bother.
Yes, very valid.
Like something in my store and I'll put it in a bundle for you.
I think the stuff that I bought on Posh is when I see some like a friend on Instagram that has something and I'm like, oh, that's cute. Like I'll go support them and buy it on Poshmark. All right, we are wrapping up. What do you guys think the best sale was?
We should have established criteria.
Whatever you think. Fastest, best, most interesting, exciting.
Well, my favorite was the crazy combo.
Yes,
of the Chloe shoe with the was it Forever 21 item?
And the Chloe, yeah.
Yes, I'm trying to find it. That was Ginger Marvin. Here we go. Kathy was my best sale this week was a bundle of Chloe flats and Forever 21 sweater, $108 shipped.
I mean, clearly the luxury bag that sold for an astonishing amount of money was amazing, but this one that just shows the craziness of reselling.
Yes, I know. Forever 21 top and a Chloe shoes.
That's my fave.
Fair.
What do you think, Kay?
My personal favorite one was the Hello Kitty Converse, just because I think they're super interesting, and they sold for $67.50, which is a high price for Converse in my opinion. So I thought that was a pretty cool one.
Oh, you guys are not making it easy because I was not. Okay, I'll pick between the two of you. So obviously the Gucci was absolutely amazing. Super exciting. You guys both picked good ones. I'm gonna say I'm going to go with a Converse between the two of yours. I'm going to go with the Converse because I think it's something off. Well, the other one's off the wall too. But Chloe flats, like those are going to sell, right? Like yes. The Converse one is something that was a little bit more unique. I'm trying to figure out who said it. So if you guys.
Deserato finds Diane.
Oh, there she is. Okay. Yes, perfect. So Diane, if you want to send me a DM on Instagram and I will.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations on the sale and a free dashboard. Good week for you. So send me a DM.
A quick question. A lot of people that were sharing their best sales mentioned how quickly they sold. And that reminded me of a conversation that I participated in on Clubhouse earlier today, where somebody was second guessing the price that they put on something because of how quickly it had sold. Mm-hmm. My attitude is if I list something at a price 20% higher than I hope I'll get, and it sells quickly at full price within 24 hours, I go, yay, I'm so smart. Yeah. And a lot of people, I feel like, go, oh, I should have asked more. So what do you guys think? Is a quick sale, isn't that the point?
Yeah, I don't really think about it too much. I'm just happy to make the sale.
And I'm the same way. And I mean, I think I've probably said that just in passing, like I probably could have gotten more, but I'm in the business of selling items, not hoarding items. And if it sold for a really good price, even if it sold for not a great price and I made money on it, like hooray, hooray.
Yep.
Somebody did make the comment, you know, if you know you did good research and you didn't, you know, ignore that you had the only existing copy of a Star Wars poster signed by Mark Hamill in 1977 or something, right? That would be a mistake to sell for $50. But if you know you did your research on this particular shoe, I think it's just serendipity that the right buyer saw it at the right moment and right when you listed it.
Yeah, but even to your point, so my brother-in-law's been reselling on eBay for like 12 years and he does like off the wall, not stuff like I do. But something that he told me in the very beginning, because I think with certain things you could spend so much time researching them and time is money. And so I was like, I don't know what the price is at, and I've been doing this. And he's like, Sarah, if you make money, that's what you're in the business for. So what if someone bought it for $50 and they make $100 off of it? You still made $50, right? Like, and if you're not spending, so I mean, I'm in the business of making money. So could you have gotten a little bit more? Yes. That's the same thing with like counter offers. I don't do them very often because they're willing to buy and especially our stuff that's oversaturated, right? You could go buy another pair of American Eagle jeans from like 700 other sellers. I'll take your $17. Like, I'm not going to try and push it for an extra $3 or whatever, right?
Yeah, especially on Poshmark where they're going to take 20% anyway. So you're really not making anything more.
Yes, valid. Very true. Someone's saying when I list something and get an offer that same day and the offer is reasonable, I accept it. For me, it's a quick sell with quick profit. Agreed.
Yeah.
And I think I've heard Kathy say that too. She'll always.
And I just encourage people, you know, don't agonize or beat yourself up. Just say, right buyer, right time, right price.
Yep.
And you made money.
And you made
that's what it's all about. If I'm making money, I'm pretty much always going to accept the offer regardless.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. Kay's and Heidi's information is down below. So definitely make sure, definitely follow Heidi. But Kay is so close to getting monetized on YouTube. She needs 50 subs. So go on over and give her a sub over there. Heidi has amazing quality content on Instagram. And I know she's on Clubhouse a lot as well. I've been in some groups with her.
And I have a bunch of 7-month-old videos on YouTube.
Hey, still relevant. Well, hopefully, most of them.
Well, you can learn what not to buy.
Yes, there you go. But I've been in some clubhouses with you, and you definitely are very informative in those as well if you guys are on Clubhouse. So their information, I think their Instagrams probably are down below, but they have link trees to all of their various different things. So thank you guys so much for joining. Like I said, next week I will be off for Thanksgiving. So I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday and is not decorating their Christmas tree until after. I'm just saying, do whatever you want. We do it until after. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Well, I'll have videos, but I will see you live in 2 weeks. So have a good night.
Thanks, everyone. And thanks, Sarah, for putting this together.
That was so fun. Thanks, Sarah.